I told you she wasn't going away. I told you the prepubescent boy would not go away once she retired from pretend soccer. I mean, it does kind of make sense, right? No one expects a prepubescent boy to go away. We expect them to grow up. We expect them to mature. We expect them to enter adulthood. Now, of course, none of those expectations apply to Megan Rapinoe. When you're a professional athlete and you're asked to represent your country in the Olympics or the World Cup, or that tournament that FIBA holds in basketball during the summer, most athletes, they view it as a privilege to represent their country. Yeah, it's a job. Yeah, it takes dedication, takes a lot of time, a lot of commitment, but most athletes, they're happy to do it at least once. I remember watching the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix and how motivated that group of NBA players were to reclaim the gold medal. They had been humiliated in 2002 and 2004. Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, they were driven by their pride to put America back on top. They felt privileged to represent their country. Now, of course, Coach K, he had to bring in Kobe Bryant so he could teach those dudes how to win. Which, by the way, you know what I remember most about that documentary on the Redeem Team? I haven't seen this documentary in at least a year now, but I still vividly remember this part. Early one morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, the entire team was returning to the hotel from a long night of partying. As the elevator arrives on the bottom floor to pick all of them up, Kobe Bryant, he is walking out of the elevator. The rest of the team is drunk. They're asking Kobe where the hell he's going at 4 in the morning. They didn't have practice until later that afternoon. Kobe tells them, "I'm going to the gym to get up some shots." Now, just seeing Kobe's dedication, it inspired a young LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Next morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, entire team follows Kobe Bryant to the gym for practice. Everyone except for Carmelo Anthony. "I'm not a morning person. I can't wake up that early." Yeah, that was 15 years ago. Look back at their NBA careers now. LeBron James, multi-time champion. Dwayne Wade, multi-time champion. Chris Bosh, multi-time champion. Chris Paul, he's still playing in the NBA at 38 years old. Then you've got Carmelo Anthony, who never reached his full potential because he wasn't willing to work for it. Even with that being the case, though, at least Carmelo Anthony was proud to represent America. Can't say the same for Megan Rapinoe. No. The Mexter could never be proud to represent America. This country stands for everything she is supposedly against. Megan Rapinoe dreams of an America where prepubescent boys can achieve their dream of becoming female soccer players. Megan Rapinoe dreams of an America where Bearded Bob can use the women's restroom peacefully without having to listen to the screams of frightened mothers who are wondering why the dude in the stall next to them is asking to borrow a tampon. It is no secret at this point that Megan Rapinoe detests America, and her disdain for the country that made her a multi-millionaire, it was on full display on the latest documentary from Netflix titled Under Pressure. Under Pressure? I thought that was a classic song by Queen and David Bowie. I didn't realize the Mexter was under pressure. I figured the only time she was under pressure was when winter comes early and she hadn't stored enough nuts in the nest that she shares with the Sue bird. But before we get to the latest comments from the most hated athlete in America, let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends over at All Strokes Matter. All Strokes Matter. You know, a while back I had a woman reach out to me asking where she could buy her husband clothes that were made by Americans for Americans. She didn't want to support woke clothing brands, but she wanted high quality clothing for her husband. Now, obviously, I don't know shit about fashion, but I do happen to know the best brand of American made clothes, my friends over at All Strokes Matter. For all my golfers out there, All Strokes Matter, they just released this new line of polo style shirts. Now, of course, my personal favorites are the long sleeve tees, just like the one I'm wearing right now. Love this shirt, love it. Now, for all my ladies out there, All Strokes Matter. They also offer unisex jackets and hoodies that will keep you warm throughout the winter. All Strokes Matter has plenty of options if you're looking for ideas for the men in your family for Christmas. And if you can't decide what they would like, just buy them a gift card. Let them decide for themselves. Now, unlike the organization Black Lives Matter, All Strokes Matter, they actually care about America. These are American employees making American clothes with American materials for for American men and women. Yes, their prices are a bit higher than clothes made in a foreign sweatshop, but you can't have it both ways. You can't say that you want to support American brands, American companies, and then complain about American prices. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTLFans30. That's BTLFANS30. Receive 30% off your first purchase of $25 or more with All Strokes Matter. All right, Netflix. They just released a documentary titled Under Pressure, the U.S. Women's World Cup Team. They should have named this Huge Embarrassing Failure because that's what this group of political activists accomplished. Failure. Fun fact here, when this documentary was originally pitched to Netflix, the idea was to follow the 2023 World Cup in their quest for a three-peat. Netflix, they anticipated that this group of political activists, they would emerge victorious and millions of people would watch their journey in this documentary. Instead, this documentary, it turned into a documentary of failure. Just like you would expect in a commercial for Just for Men, Netflix included the face of the U.S. women's team, Megan Rapinoe. For some reason over the last decade or so, the brilliant minds at U.S. Soccer, they kept asking Megan Rapinoe to represent America on the global stage. Even though Megan Rapinoe only truly represents about 5% of the American population. During the documentary, producers, they asked Megan Rapinoe what it was like playing for the U.S. women's team and representing your country on the global stage. How did Megan Rapinoe respond? This is the worst job in the world. It sucks. When I do my job properly, I get criticized by normal people. When I put a free kick 30 rows into the crowd, normal people make fun of me. I would much rather be the spokeswoman for Just for Men than represent America at the World Cup. Let me get this straight. Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. According to Megan Rapinoe, being paid to play soccer is the worst job in the world. Being paid to represent your country is the worst job in the world. Clearly, Megan Rapinoe has never worked a real job. It has been 3 years now since I've worked a real job. I still have nightmares about it. Being a content creator here on YouTube, it can be incredibly difficult. A lot of pressure that comes along with it. There's no such thing as sick days. I've been having trouble with my voice all week. I'm sure you guys can hear a little bit of it now. Tough shit. Still got to make the videos. There's a lot behind the scenes that goes into this, but you'll never hear me complain about it. Why? Because to me, it's the best job in the world. Supposedly, Megan Rapinoe felt the same way about soccer, unless, of course, that soccer meant she had to represent America. That statement Megan Rapinoe made in this documentary, it highlights her victim mentality. Meg is complaining about the criticism that she receives. She's complaining about not being recognized for winning and being criticized for being a huge embarrassing failure. But what Megan Rapinoe fails to understand, no one is criticizing her based on her ability or inability to play soccer. Earlier, I mentioned the Redeem team. Those guys received far more criticism than Megan Rapinoe could ever dream of receiving. But the criticism they received was based on them failing to meet expectations. Yet somehow, they faced the criticism head on, found a way to overcome it, won the gold medal. Megan Rapinoe folded under the pressure. Most people don't have a problem with Megan Rapinoe because she failed to win the gold medal at the World Cup. Hell, most people couldn't give a fuck less. They weren't watching it anyway. The vast majority of the criticism with Megan Rapinoe has nothing to do with soccer and everything to do with her career as a political activist. In her career as a political activist, Megan Rapinoe claims to be a fighter. I'm fighting for rainbow rights. I'm fighting for equal pay. I will never stop fighting for money I haven't earned. Yet, when she gets criticized, Megan Rapinoe is the exact opposite of a fighter. She's a whiner. She's whining about representing her country, calling it the worst job in the world. You know, I can think of a lot of jobs that are worse than playing pretend soccer. What about the equipment manager of this team of political activists? I mean, that job's got to suck. Would you want to be responsible for collecting all those jock straps? What about working the door at Club Shay Shay, a club where only men are allowed? You're constantly arguing with people like Megan Rapinoe who are trying to get inside to be hypnotized by the dancing queen Jackie Mahomes. I swear I'm a man. I swear I'm the face of Just for Men. Just because you aspire to be a man doesn't mean you are one. As I was prepping this video, I received an exciting update from the Daily Mail. Headline: Legendary dump diver Sue Bird puts an end to rampant speculation by confirming that she is not married to Megan Rapinoe. Speculation? I don't know anyone who was speculating as to whether Meg married the bird. To be honest, I thought they were already married. Past couple of nights, the tin roof on my back porch, it has sounded like an absolute war zone. Acorns have been dropping by the thousands as Meg and the Sue Bird rocked the nest like a pair of newlyweds. But earlier this afternoon, the Sue Bird, she got on Instagram and informed the handful of family members that still care that she has not married the Megster. They've been engaged since 2020. Now, most people think that means they're engaged to be married. What it really means is, since 2020, Meg and the Bird, they have been engaged in the fight against mythical racism. That being said, I wish them nothing but happiness in their future nuptials. Although I don't understand why Sue Bird would want to marry Megan Rapinoe. Sue Bird is Jewish and Megan Rapinoe was publicly supporting Palestine. I don't know. Anyway, give me your thoughts on this. Megan Rapinoe claims that playing for the U.S. women's team in the World Cup, representing America, is the worst job in the world. She displays her victim mentality by complaining about all the criticism that she receives. Now, is this another example of Megan Rapinoe finding a way to denigrate and shit on America? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.